Welcome to the setup of the automatic orchid watering system. So when you buy your orchid watering system, it should arrive looking something like this. There should be a box, and if you're buying inside the UK, you will also get a 9-volt battery included. If you're buying from outside the UK, obviously just get yourself one separately. The first thing that you need to do is plug in the battery, so it should be fairly straightforward. The large connector should go to the plus sign, and the small connector should go to the minus sign. There's only really one way that you can fit it, so just try it. Once you plug it in, obviously it makes this beeping sound, and then you need to try and fit the battery inside the box. So best thing to do is just sort of slot it to the side. So sometimes you might want to go with the other side. Just sort of slot it in, push it in, make sure that it stays in, just bend it, push it in, and that's perfect. Just make sure that the board obviously has the button sticking out, and that's key. So then you can put the lid on top. Just make sure that the water sensor connector is sticking out. There you go. And you can put the system back in place. Connect up the water sensor. And just before you plug it into the pump, just double check that inside that you have the pump connected, the tube that's connected to the pump is fitted the right way, and that you also have a lid. Once you've made sure that everything is working, take a bit of water and obviously just fill up the system. Double check that the system is nice and full. You should probably fill it up without the lid, to be honest. Just chuck the lid. You can either have it this way around if you want a bit of water to be stored in there, but I prefer to have them flat. Now that everything is obviously set up, take the box, maybe just pull out the pump connector a little bit, plug it in, make sure that the box rests on the magnet, but it should be fairly straightforward. And then you can put the orchid in, but first just double check that it works by pressing the button down and holding it for 5 seconds, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should activate and it should start pumping the water up. In this case, the lid is not quite fitted. So let's just make sure that it is fitted. Sometimes again, it might take a bit of trial and error. There we go. The lid is perfectly flat. And it's filling up. Then once it touches the water sensor, it's supposed to stop. And so depending on how high you want the water to go up, you can adjust obviously the height of the water sensor as well. Let's just see that when it touches it stops. It stops, it'll drop down a little bit and then pump back up. In case the water sensor is missing or broken, there's fail safes installed. Let's just have a look at how they work. So you won't actually have to worry about it obviously overflowing, as it never will. The pump is trying to work a bit harder. Let's just give it a helping hand. Well, clearly the time has run out. And now it will drain. As it drains, feel free to pop your plant in. In this case, the pot is a little bit smaller than it's designed for, as it can take up to 15 centimeters, but I think this is a 13 centimeter pot. So I can adjust the level of water by obviously bringing the water sensor a little bit further down. If, let's say, my pot was a bit taller, I could bring it up. So by default, the system waters once every 7 days. However, you can adjust it by holding the button down. You can adjust it between 3 to 12 days. So for 3 days, for example, you'll have to hold it down for 35 seconds, for 4 days, 45, and all the way up to 125 seconds, basically. So for example, in winter, I like to adjust mine to water about every 10 days. While in summer, I quite like the default of 7, sometimes even bring it up to 6 or 5. You have to judge it by the way the orchid medium dries, so it's not really an exact science. 7 days, the default will generally work most of the time, but if you want optimal health for your orchids, you have that bit of flexibility if you know what you want. Okay, so thank you for watching this tutorial on how to set up the orchid watering system. Hopefully this answers all of the basic setup questions. If you run into any troubleshooting errors, check out 3dping.co.uk/manual, and that should help you troubleshoot any errors that you might have. If you fail to do so, feel free to shoot us an email or comment down below and we can see what we can help.